Okay, great. The second thing that for the alternates, here you have to give an alternate text, as I told you before. If you enter the alternate text, what will happen? If the image fail to open, a slow connections, or if some people use a screen readers, it will read the alternated text. So I'm going to say that the image of OUSL, okay, should be a reasonable text, because you should not only think about the failure of loading images, you have to also think about the screen readers. Anyhow, when we practice it, do a best practices. So I'm going to do that. So we already add the images as well. So let's go to the next step of this exam papers. And add the following with using lists. So they're asking us to add this list. Actually, it's not difficult, but it's a bit tricky. This is what I understand from here. They use here unordered list. And then in this area is an ordered list, right? And this area is an ordered list, and this is unordered list, and this is again unordered list. So it's a nested list actually, unordered list, and the list is nested under the unordered list, and then unordered list is nested under the ordered list. So let's try to create it. We will see. I'm going to work also with you. Let's do some more. Right. So I'm going to create one list here, but I don't know whether you guys knows about the div tag, because I always love to use that. This is called div. Don't use capital div. Div means it's just a division. It's like a folder. You write your code under the div. Nothing will change. Nothing will add more. Nothing will add loose. It's like a folder. You will write everything under that. It's much easier to organize the code later. Right, under the div now, I'm going to create one unordered list, UL. Let me reorder the page. I'm saving it now. I created a UL. Under the UL, I have to say item allowed. So I'm going to copy the item allowed. Then it will be under the UL, it will be LI. I'm pasting this. Because when you paste sometime, the enter key also will be copied. So when you, for example, it was like this before. It was like this. So just bring it to the end and delete it and reorder the code, shift, alt and F and save it. So allowed items comes with a dot. So it's perfectly fine. So under this LI, now I want to create, under the UL, I have to create one OL, ordered list. So I'm going to create an ordered list. Somebody asked me some questions. What is the software name page wide without refresh? Okay. Yeah, too late, brother, because you have exam now. Because I just want to complete that within this 40 minutes. So I will tell you that you search for it. You go through your LMS, and there are guidelines to how to install this. It's very easy actually. Right. So we are going to do the pen now. So I'm going to create one ordered list. So it should be again LI, and I say pen. So pen comes there, right? So under this pen, I have to have another unordered list that will bring blue, black, and red. So now I'm going to create unordered list, and under unordered list, I'm going to create LI, and then say blue, right? So I will copy 3 of them. I'm not going to put the name. Okay, anyhow, I'm going to put it fine. Black, and red. So you see that how it's nested actually. But now, anyone notice it here that, okay. Anyhow, just small adjustment on this. Remove this div because the alignment is changed actually. So I'm going to remove that. Why I'm removing it? You see that the dot start on the right side is not in this right exact alignment. Started just one indent the font. So I'm going to erase this one now. And then order this. And then save it, still the same. But it should not be like this. Why? Where is the paragraph? Anyone can advise me what was the issue? What is the issue here now currently? Because the item allowed is one tab inside. Shall I put this LI on the inside? I forget it actually. Let us try this way. It's wrong. I don't know, something happened here. Unordered list, item allowed. Actually, it looks fine, but the thing is, it's just one tab addition. Shall I cut it? I'm saving now. Going to paste it again. Okay, anyhow, we will see that later. So we will continue our work. So we don't need to spend the time for this. I have no idea why it's happening here. So in the item allowed, we created a pen and the other dots. Here, the main thing that you have to know, this one, the third block is now is a box type. Notice that? Hello, anyone?
Hello.
You notice this one, it's a box type. So actually here they want you to have a rounded circle. I don't know, maybe if you zoom that, you'll find it here. Okay, so here what you have to do, in this LI block, you have to create a style, okay? And you have to do something called list style type. List style type, which is, I want it to be a circle here. So yeah, it should be circle, but it's not color. So I'm going to say another option. Yeah, list type. So now it's a dot. This is another turning point because most of us, we will not realize that. So it's a type of a disk. It's not circle. See, by mistake also I did a circle here. We'll put the circle on the other side to show you. See the difference here? If you don't specify anything, it's a box. And if you specify circle, it's a rounded one without color. The other one is a disk, so it with the colors. This is they are expecting you to do that. Okay. And the rest of the things here, item allowed and pen and pencil now. So I'm going to create under the ordered list, I'm going to create one more LI, and that will be pencil. Right, and then the rest of the things we will not copy it here, but we will call it like this. It's easy. So we have all the pen, pencil, I mean pencil, eraser, ruler, and stapler. Yeah, bro, I'm recording it actually, so maybe I will be uploading to the drive, then you can take it from the drive. I hope that I'm recording it right. I remember again, it's recording fine. So we created already this one, item allowed, and with the dot and this. And second thing, that item not allowed, actually the same thing here, but only this part is not there. So it's much easier for me, right? To just copy the entire this set of this same thing and paste it here. And you don't have a OL under that. So item not allowed, because I'm not going to do everything. Item not allowed, and I will have TPEGs, you know, A, and then B, okay, whatever it is. How about UL type disk? Yeah, this is what I'm using, brother. I'm using disk to change it to a circle mode here. Okay, actually they are asking you to do that. It should be disk, but I'm just showing you disk and circle and the box type because I don't know how your exam paper will be, right? Tomorrow your exam paper will be a disk, or it may be they will ask you a circle. Who knows it, right? For us, it's a disk, but for you, it could be a circle. So in that case, don't tell me that we did not know it. Right? Sometimes they will not ask you anything. They might put a box type. So you don't need to change anything at all. Okay, so this area is fine. And also item not allowed, we just created already. It's already fine. But did you notice something here? There are gaps in between this, right? But I don't know whether for me, according to my eye, I feel that there are some spaces between these lines, and here maybe no space, but in between the item allowed and the pen, there seems to be additional space. And here also seems to be additional space, but here it's very narrow. It's fully tight. So we will see that later. Let us complete the remaining part, then we will see how to add some styles. Okay. If you feel that If you feel the same thing, same feeling what I feel now, you can do that one. If you don't feel that, no, it's fine for me, it looks everything is fine, you don't do that.
Bro, can you use the BR tech?
Yeah, but the problem is if you want to use a BR tag, see, for example, you have to use BR here, right? It's too much already. How many places you are going to use this BR? I mean, I'm going to copy now, and then here no more, and then BR here, BR here, BR here, BR here. It's also, it seems to be the difference is too high, right? So I'm not going to use the BR. We will come to that later. Okay. So let us complete the exam. See, this is also a trick in the exam papers. First, you complete everything according to the rule and submit it. This is what I did actually. I just used 1 hour, around 50 minutes to complete my page, and I submitted it. First submission, I did it already. Why? Maybe there can be an electric power failure, or maybe LMS is down. Then later on, they will tell you, no, you came to the exam. We don't care whether you, in case if they say that, it will be lost for us. So I completed everything, I submitted. After that, I just take another time to, I just go through every single area. I feel that there is a gap. I feel that this will be bolded. I just modified. And I submitted the second submissions around 3:20. Then again, I go through that, because if I submit it, go home, I can just sleep, but I don't care. I mean, the time is waste, right? Just I sit, everyone finished it. One guy finished it around 3:15. He said, madam, I finished it. I'm going to leave now. She said, okay, fine, go. What will happen if you feel that, oh my God, I did a small mistake. I did not put the title. Can you come back and do it? You cannot do that. Just sit until 4 o'clock. I mean, until you complete all the 2 hours. Sit there and just go through one by one. And then I think it will be useful. This is what I do. I just sit here and then I watch here and there. I listen to people, what they ask and other things. Fine. So now this 2 area is completed. Now we will go to the form bar and create the following things using the relevant elements. And they're asking you to create this area and this area and this area. And there is one line. The line is not a good thing that yesterday we did it, but one person told me the line should be only at least like half of the screen. So it was very good info actually, because even me, I did not notice that. Right. So now we are going to work on this part, this line. So what I'm going to do now, after out of the UL, and also see, after you complete the UL, what you can do simply, you can collapse this area. So the code will be very small. Okay. I'm going to collapse this paragraph code. So the code is small, so it's easier for you to go up and down. Right. Now I'm going to create the, so this is, we should understand that this is the form area. Before the form, there is one horizontal line, and after the submit button, there is another horizontal line. And between this one, there is another horizontal line. So you have to plan in your mind that what is your plan. So now in this area, I'm going to create one horizontal line. Okay. And then this horizontal line, now it's almost occupying the entire width of the page. So you can say either width is equal to 50%, for example. So it's occupying the 50% of the width, but it's centered already. So in this exam question paper, it's not centered, right? So this is centered. So what you have to do, simply you have to change the alignment of that. So I'm going to say align is equal to a left align. So I'm going to left align this line to be displayed on the left side. So it's left aligned already. This is done already, okay? Right. Now, can anyone tell me that how can we do this? Quickly, please, because we don't want to open another connection again. Can you tell me?
Self-spacing.
Tell me. No.
Self-spacing.
Now, how you are going to do this? I mean, you are going to put one by one and break lines. I mean, write this line and break it, and put this one, break it, and put this and break it, and put this and break it. This is what you plan to do. Yeah, it's a table, right? It's nice. I don't know. So here, the best thing is that we are going to use a table here. The problem is the screen is small. So one is the table header, and then table data, right? That's fine. So I'm going to use, after this line, I'm going to use a table. And then under the table, I'm going to create a table header. That table header will contain, now we cannot copy it anymore because it's a picture. So you have to type it, tick the center, okay? In the table header, I'm going to, sorry, before the table header, you have to create the table row. Table row, under the table row, table header, then you have to say, pick the center. Okay, now you keep in your mind that whatever the case they use, you use that case, but I'm not going to, I'm not writing exam, right? So I'm not going to follow that, but here C is capital. And here I type it C is simple. So you really, when you write exam, you focus on that. This is like all a third revision. You can do it if you like. So it's much better to follow what exactly is there. Then now, so this is fine. It looks good. I'm going to make it small because every time it's very difficult to go and see in there. Okay, pick the center. Now we have a 3 radio button, right? So we have to create a table row, and table row. Then now it's not the table header anymore. This is table data. So I'm going to use TD. And then what you have to do is input box, input. The type is radio. Okay. And the name, it's very important because as I told you last time, if you want one of this checkbox, I mean a radio button to be checked, so the name has to be the same name for all these 3 radio buttons. Then only you can choose one of them. Otherwise, you will be able to choose all of them. So the reason we are giving a radio button, you have to choose only one at a time. I mean, one of them. So the name, I'm going to say a center. ID, if you like to give ID, you give ID. But if you don't want to give ID, it's fine too. And then under the TD, we created this radio button, it's here. And also if you want to put the Colombo is okay. But in the previous example, yesterday, I told them a different way. You can also, instead of writing a Colombo inside the TD as a text, you can insert it like a label. Then you can use 4 column. And because you see, when I click here, when I click the Colombo, the value is not checked. In the default way, they actually, I mean, normally if you go for a programming world and when you write a programs, they want, the user experience is very important. So they expect you, when you click a text Colombo by the mouse, then they want this to be ticked. So now it's not happening here. For that one, if you want, you can do that. But for the exam, this is already okay. This is what the teacher taught us. So this is already okay. But if you want to follow the other way, it's fine. I'm going to tell you that as well. So we will use both ways. I'm going to explain that. So let this radio button to be in the standard way that what teacher teach you. The second radio button, I will show you how to do it here. So me, what I did, I add 3 lines, but here, if you want, you can put a break and add it, but it seems to be like 3 lines. So I'm going to create another row. Okay, just copy that and paste it here and paste it here. So now we have a 3. This one. What you have to do, the name has to be the same. You have to be very careful with that. The way I told you, in case if you want to click the label and it should be checked, the third option is Candy, right? Candy. And okay, let's say it's lower, vertical. If I want to click this and check this one, you have to add something called label. So we will do it only for this one to see. Instead of vertical arrow, I'm going to break it so it's easy to understand. Okay. And then now here I'm going to say a label. And if you want to introduce this method, this is just a small additional, but if you like it, do it. If you don't like it, just follow the ordinary method to get the marks. But this is something a little bit more information. Here, in the ID part, here you have to give a unique name for ID. So this one I'm going to say Betty, for example. I'm going to give ID Betty, and then I copy the ID and put it here in the for field. And here I'm going to say vertical. Okay. So here the same thing looks exactly the same, but it functions different. When I click this text, it's checking here, but when I click the Candy, it won't do that. So I'm giving you this option and the other option. You choose whatever you like. Okay, this is done. This is one table. Now, subject area. Is it okay, right? It's clear, right, guys? The option button, I mean the radio button. If you don't ask me anything, I assume that you know it already. Now let's go to the subject area. So I'm going to use the same table. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me what we will do now? What I'm going to add should be next row. Of course, everyone knows that TR. And under the TR, what we are going to do? TD, TH. We don't like to talk, right? Okay. So now I'm going to create a table header again. See, the first thing we created a TR. Sorry, created a TR, and then we created a TH because we want the text to be bolded, you know, and big. So here again, the subject, it's also the same kind, right? It's like the same kind, but this is capitalized and this is a normal case. So here I'm going to create a table header, and which is subjects. So it looks fine. I don't understand what's wrong with this. Okay. Something wrong with the alignment. It should be disaligned. Let me use the TD and see. Okay. I'm going to check the header again. X66. Let me see this page on the browser. Open in default browser. The same thing here. Something wrong. Maybe we did something wrong initially in somewhere else. Let me see that code again.
Can we create another table?
No, we can create another table, no problem with that. But in my code, I use the same code. But here I feel that maybe we did some mistakes here. Maybe some tags are not closing it properly. Shall I comment this all here and see? Still the same thing. It's a table. I'm across the table now. Table draw, table draw, table draw, table draw.
What about we use table data?
No. TD. Like for example. Yeah, the table data is coming fine, but when I say table header, because under the table it should be TR first, and then table header second, and then put this. But I don't understand why. Can I, 1 second, we will do something called, we'll put a border here, and we will see what's happening. Okay, yes, this is my mistake, by the way. I forgot to tell that. See, once I put the border only, I got to know that. Normally, the behavior of the table header is a centered alignment. That's why it's appearing here. So in case if you want to do everything on the one table, better to align this line. See, the thing is that we thought that we are doing some mistakes, but actually what we did is so far is correct. It's right. The thing is, by default, you should remember that by default table header, it's a center alignment inside the cell. So it's aligning center. We realize it after we put the border only. So here what you have to do, very simply, you can say style is equal to align, or maybe you can use align also directly. 1 second, let me check. Yeah, align is equal to left. So it's left aligned already. Okay. So I'm going to remove the border now because I don't need the border anymore. Just we use it for identifying the issues. So how do we call it? Subjects. Okay. Then I'm going to create TR again. Under the TR, it will be a TD. And TD, we have to put, what do you have to put now? You have to put the checkboxes, 3 checkboxes. So the same thing now will follow for the checkboxes as well, like a radio button. Either you can directly say something like this, or if you want to put a fancy user interface, you can also introduce a label. So it's up to you now. I told you already. So just to save the time, I'm going to skip that side. So now what you have to do, input box, and it should be now checkbox, right? Checkbox. In case if you feel that you might make a mistake while typing a checkbox, just type CHEK and then press Control space at the same time. So you will get all the available options. Just press Tab to select that. So you will not miss any letter. Let's say if you type XX, it will not function like a text box. Okay, so do that. Checkbox. And then in the TD, you can type whatever it is. For example, EEI, this is EEI 3322, for example. So there is a checkbox. Now, if I click the label, it won't work. So if you want something like that, you can also create a similar way like this. But for the checkbox here, we don't need to specify a name property because we don't care. But there are something called value, but they are not expecting that as of now. In my exam, I did not put the value here. That's we need it when you make a page and submit to the server. Server needs ID and value. So I'm not going to use any of that. This is what they taught us. But if you want to put that, you can create it. You can create something called ID and create a name. For example, this is subject 1, for example, any name. So similarly, we have to put 3. So 3 things are here. Okay. And also I noticed something here. There are some gap, but I don't know whether it's really a gap because since it's a picture, maybe they expand it and it looks like this one. But we will design that later. Okay. So after this, we have one horizontal line again. So after the table, I'm going to copy the same line. Don't write line again. Just copy the code and come back here and paste it. So we get the line after this. And we have 3 things here and submit button. By the way, we forget something, right? We forget to add the form clause because since we have a submit button, we should have a form block. So where to put the form block? The form block link start from this area, tick the center. I mean here. So before the table, we have to put the form block. So anyhow, create the form block here. Form. 1 second, guys. Okay. Create the form block. Here in the action, here you don't need to specify anything, but here's something called method. You have to say post and cut the end of the form block, cut it, and put it after the horizontal line. Paste it here. And Shift Alt and F and save it. So and save it. The form block is created over because we have to wrap it later on to submit the form. So this area is completed already. If you have a doubt, please let me know. And we have to create these 3 things and submit button. Now, after the horizontal line, right? After the horizontal line, I'm going to create another table for this data entry. Another table for the data entry. Yes, darling, here you go. Table. TR. Okay. You're going to create a TR. But here you have to notice something. They did not use 2 column here to put the label and the input data because see the alignment. This alignment is fine left aligned, but this one is not properly aligned. That means all of them are all together in 1 column. So you have to, by looking at this, you should know that. So I'm going to create a TD. Okay. Inside the TD, I have to say a name and then input box. Type is a text. Okay. So all is already created now. Type is text. If you want to put something additional things, you can put that ID and other things. If you want in a fancy way, but I created with the ID. I mean, whenever I click the name, I want the cursor to move to be. I want the cursor to move directly to this. So I did it. What is the way? Instead of putting a name, you can put here label. Label. Then in the for area. So you have to create ID for the input box. But if you feel that's complicated for you, don't do that. ID is equal to, what is that? I call it name. And put the same ID on the label area for, and here, name. So it's created. When I click the name, the cursor will go to this automatically. If you feel that, if you have tried that by doing this one, I might make a mistake, please don't do that. And go to the next TR. Right, and then TD, the next thing that we will do it normal way, signature. Okay, and then I'm going to put an input box text. It's already the input box is there, so I don't want to specify the ID. But one more thing, if you like, you can do it. That during the time you submit, you should make some validations here whether the text box is filled. If you want to do that, there is one property called required. If you want to put that, I'll show you later what is required. The time you submit this one, I save it here now. When I don't have a submit button, let's go until the submit button, then we will do that. So I'm going to get additional line here, copy it and paste it. It's called comments. And then put that is this. And I'm going to add one more table row, that's for the submit button, TD. And then this also input box, but the type is submit. And then value is submit to. So the buttons are there. We'll put one more line. See, the horizontal line is too short because the form is too small. So just make a form a little bigger so it looks fine. Okay. Right. So the submit button is there. After the submit button, you have a one line. So again, copy the same line. I'm going to put it, okay, after the table and paste it. So it looks good. Okay, let's continue now. Okay, now let me see. Let me show you that why I put the required. If you put the required button here, when you submit, it will ask you, please fill out this form. That's it. That's only the validation. But if you feel that is difficult for you, please skip that. Why we add form? Yes, here, see, usually they did not tell you to add the form. The reason why I add the form, by doing this area, by displaying to you in display, choosing one option here and choosing multiple option here and enter the name and submit button for what? Just for the decoration purposes. It's not only for the decoration, right? They want you to submit. So they are asking actually in what do you call that? In a hidden way that you have to use a form object here. This is what I understand by looking at the paper. But if you feel that no, this is something wrong, it's fine. It's up to you. You remove the form option and do the rest of the work. Anyhow, this time, I don't know whether they are expecting the form has to be in a way to submit it, or maybe only the look. If you maintain the look only, say, because we did not go, in a deep area, so it's still in a beginning area, beginning of HTML. So I don't know what they are expecting it, but what I understand by looking at the submit button and then entry and selection here, I feel that they are expecting us to add a form, wrap this area with a form. This is what I feel. So that's why I add the form. Okay. The third thing, the final thing, what they ask from here, at the following footer area, use a div or a footer element. So you can use one of them, either div or footer, they are the same actually. So I'm going to use after the form, not in the footer, because the form, you have to make sure that the form is only for the radio button, checkbox, and this data entry. Okay. So if you put the horizontal line inside the table or outside the table, it's fine. It's not harm. It's not harm actually. So and here I'm going to add a footer now. So after the form, inside the body also, everything, all your codes, whatever you're writing, is in between the body tag. Everything inside the body tag. Don't go anything outside. So I'm going to create now a footer. Under the footer, see, there is a small trick here. Also, I told them the last time. You just copy this, no problem for the initially. Just copy everything, and then under the footer, I'm going to paste it. So it's fine. But what I feel, this is only from my view of points. This C, they don't want you to copy it and paste it there. So this C has to be inserted by HTML option called copy. This is the one. So if we save that, that will create the same C. Okay, in my view of point, it will be the same C. This is the right way of doing it. But there's, once the output is correct, there is no right and wrong. Anything you can do it to get the answer. That is also another point. But if I do that one, nobody can ask me any questions. But if you copy and paste, they might ask you, why did you copy this one? But if you do this one, they will not ask you why did you do this one. But this is the one of the best way. So I'm doing this way. Now, one more thing here, note, some people, they will do it here, that's it, done, finished. No. Note, the underlined text should be linked to the respective site. So the underlined linked means this area, OESL, and including bracket, let's say including bracket, right? This okay, so this is the site of OESL. So I copy this text, I mean the URL, I don't need this anymore, I just close it. The href, I paste it here. So now, let's check what's happening here. The hyperlink is working fine. When I click the hyperlink, actually is loading in another page. But since we are using some live preview, but you have to say in order to load in another tab, that's what they said, right? The site and should open up in a new tab. So in order to open it in the new tab, what you have to do something called target. Target will be blank. So if we say target is equal to blank, it will open in a new tab. Okay. So now we completed almost this page. Okay. So instead of looking at here, always we should not only look this area. We have to also look in the browser. That's very important. Don't do this mistake.
Excuse me.
Yes.
When we now you copy the URL from the Internet Explorer, but
Yes.
when we're doing the exam, what we have to do?
No, actually, I
can do. We don't know.
No. When I was doing exam, I just create a new tab and I open OESL and copy the link and close it and come and paste it, because I cannot memorize the things actually. How can I memorize the part there? Yeah, this is not so big actually. But in case if they see that, they can understand easily, right? We are just going to the Explorer, because we are going to the Explorer to take the complete URL of the page. It's not something crime. It's not a crime actually. I did it. I don't know. It's up to you. Or just remember this if you don't want to copy it. Just remember this and put it there. Okay. So now I'm going to preview this in the browser. I'm going to right click on that, default browser, sorry, open in default browser. And I'm opening in the browser. This is my site. Okay, everything's closed. Okay, so I'm going to preview again, just make sure that this is the right page. And this is what the output. And when I click the OESL, it's opening in the new tab. So everything is working fine. Now, already it's fine. Here, guys, you focus on this area. This is your thing that I told you that it has to be a, I don't know whether it's a disk or something. So change this one. And according to me, this is fine. But if you look at this a little deeper, there are some gaps in between this line and here there are gaps, but here is almost like no gaps at all. And if you feel that there should be some gaps, either you can use BR between these two, or you can write some style codings to make this area a little bit expanded. I did it actually in my source code. I'll show you later on. I don't need to write everything again and again. And also here in the table, you see here, the table, there are a lot of gaps in between these two. This is actually a very easy thing in the table. If you want to give a gap in between these, I'm going to keep this now on the side. Okay. So now go to the table, and which table is that? With the radio button and other things. So this table, okay? Yes, yeah, these two tables. That means this is the table because the radio buttons are here. This is, we call it, we can say cell spacing is equal to 5, for example. I'm going to save it now and come here and refresh. There are small gaps. If you feel this is enough for you, it's okay. If you don't feel that, it's not enough, then make it 10 pixel. I'm going to save it and see the difference here. I'm going to refresh now. So it's increasing the cell spacing. So now compare with this one. compare with this. This and this is almost comparing. When you compare it, it's fine. Without this, what will happen? I got it and save it now. And where is the page? I'm going to refresh this. It's very, it's very crowded, this all area. So by adding this, by adding the cell spacing, and I'm going to refresh now, so it's more readable. The similar thing here, similarly, you can also add here. See, it's very narrow. The gap between these two text boxes is very narrow. The same thing, just come to that table here and paste it. Cell space is equal to 10. Come here and refresh that. Okay. Sorry, I'm refreshing the other page here. This one. So just refresh it. There are a lot of spaces. Okay. Maybe if you feel that they need more, you just add more. So all your and here, if you want to add padding here, it's one of the difficult tasks because for every LI you have to add padding and other things. But instead of doing it, I am going to create a style sheet. I don't know whether you need it or not, but I'm going to create a style sheet. Otherwise, you see, you have to come and modify everywhere. It's really difficult. So I'm going to include a styling here, but I don't know whether you like it. In order to create the style, it's like a function. I'm going to create one style and going to apply it here. So I have to create a style here, style. Inside the style, I have to tell what I'm going. Can you please share the PDF of the assignment? Yes, why not? It's a while. Okay. I don't know whether they are going to use the examination, then I will be in jail tomorrow. I don't know. Let's see. So now what I'm going to do now, every LI block, I'm going to give some, I'm going to add some padding. So I'm saying that the LI class, this is called class. They did not teach us, but I'm just showing you. If you like to try it, try it. But if you feel that difficult, please omit it. The LI class, I'm going to say padding bottom is equal to 5 pixels, for example. So let's see what's going to happen now. So I'm coming now. Just have a look at this. I'm going to refresh now. So everything is expanded. You see that? It's nice. And now we feel that you should have some additional space here. When you compare with your these things, you can put one BR, one simple BR here up in between these two. Save it. Come here and refresh that. So there's a gap between this one, and there is a space around this one. If you feel that 5 pixels is not enough, go for it. 8 pixels and save it. Come here and refresh that X pixel. Now, I notice also one more thing. I don't know, maybe my eyes very sharp. I don't know. I feel that. So there are gap, but here in this area, there's no gap. I mean, it's not the same gap, but they have it here. This is not the same with this, right? So I just went and modified this area. The padding bottom should be 0. I did it like this, but if you like, just follow that. So in this area, in this 3 LI, I mean the black, blue, and red, this one, I went inside my style before I changed the list style type to describe. So in this area, say padding bottom is equal to 0 pixel. Why I did that? Usually when you say LI in the padding bottom to 8 pixel, all the LI on my page will have a padding bottom 8 pixel. It will add some 8 pixel padding on all the LI on your page. Now, if we specify it here in the style, this option will override this option. If you type a style here, this option will override. In this case, only the blue will not have a bottom padding. So let's go and see. I'm going to refresh that and see what's going to happen. I'm going to refresh it now. Blue and blacks are close. Don't we use a BR in the paragraph? Oh, why, brother? It's an image. Yes, it's a good idea. Also, you can use BR. You can use BR. I mean, after the image in the H2, right? That's what you mean. Okay, just make it fast, bro, because we have to complete that. Right. So I'm going to add the same style everywhere. save it and come and refresh it here. Now it come back to, only this one I did not add it because I want that pairing. Fine. So I'm going to refresh now. The black, blue and red, they are, see the difference? It's less like it's very narrow and that's additional key. So this is all what I see today. Seems to be everything is fine. And this is the page. And make sure that everything is fine. But here I noticed something. I don't know, maybe this is how it looks like. It's fine. It's okay. We don't care about the exam paper. Right? We don't need to follow the exam paper alignment. This is alignment on that. So I follow it everything exactly. Everything's all right. Now they ask you additional things after you complete that. This is complete already. If you submit that page, it's asking for required here. The remaining things you don't need to put that. I'm telling you the examples, the things that you can make it in the paragraph. I have no idea what I'm talking about. BR in the paragraph. Where? Tell me quickly, where is that? BR in the paragraph means? Paragraph. You mean after the paragraph? Here.
No, in the line.
Tell me, bro. It's okay. See,
The second line starts with when we look in the live server, it's not in the that's what
when you look at the live server,
the live server, we just look in the paragraph. It's not start with the
yeah. You see, that's why I told you the live server. It's helping you during your development time. When you are initially working on the page, you just do the basic skeleton of a page and do everything. But after you finish it, don't use the live server anymore. Go to the browser and open and keep it on the side and see, because the final view that you are going to see your page on the browser, not in the live server. Teacher is not going to use the live server. I don't know what she's going to do. But actually, the final view that has to be perfect in the browser. So after you finish it, stop the live server. See, I'm not modifying. See, this kind of modification, for example, I give some a padding bottom and increasing the size, and then recall that in the table I say the cell spacing, cell padding, whatever it is. I'm doing it in the browser. This is a browser actually. Why? Because this is the final place that we are going to run our source code, right? So we have to really make sure that in the browser it works fine. So I just leave the live preview or the go live, whatever it is. I don't need it anymore. Right. So now after you complete, you make sure everything is fine and make sure, see the title, always forget the people here, semester 1 final written test. So this is the title. It has to be like this. When you hover the mouse on the tab, it should display to you here. Now, after you complete that, you take a print screen if you like, but she said it's not compulsory, but if you put that, it's much easier because it will be evidence for you. You keep it with you and also upload it with them. So I'm going to take a print screen now. I'm going to press print screen. I have a different application I told you before last time. And I click that and click print screen. It's loaded here. So this is the first piece of a page. Then I minimize it and I go to the last piece of the page. And also I take the print screen. I print the screen with my browser. I can print the screen with the white area, but I'm doing it with this. You can see my print screen cursors, right? It's moving here and there with the dot lines and everything. Can you see that? Okay, again. So 2 files. Okay. Now I have to save this file on the same folder. I'm going to save it now. So you know the folder where it is in the my documents. See this one, lab test 1. I'm going to save it. This is the first, right? I mean task 1. So task 01, task 1. Let's say first page. I save it. Now I'm going to save the second thing. Save it, and task 1. I call it second page. So I saved 2 pages now. Do you have any doubt on this, guys? Please, 40-minute Zoom session. The next ending will come soon. So just ask me quickly if you need something. This is what exactly I did. If you want, I can show you my pictures as well. I can load my page. This is the page I did. My page is in the C drive. This one, my number. This is the index that I did. I'm opening in my browser. This is the page that this is the page that we did now, and this is the page I did for my exam. I did the same thing actually. See, exactly the same. There is no different at all. Oh my God. So item allowed pen and this and that. Here I forget to put the BR here, but here I had the BR. It's up to you, Maybe I did not add the BR here. And then, but here in my case, when I click Colombo, it's sticking here. When I click Candy, it's sticking here. Vertical, it's sticking here. Everything I did it according to the, according to the standard way. And when I click name, it's clicking here. When I click signature, it's here. And when I click comment, it's here. But in our case, we did it for the name, but we did not do for the signature and comments. Here we did not do for anything. And here we did it for Colombo, Candy, vertical, nothing. Only vertical we did it, but other things we did not do it. But it's not mandatory. How do you do that, bro? Yes. I can tell you. Wait, we'll just complete the remaining, then I'll let you know that. But see, if you feel that you will be running out of time, and if you're afraid of that, please don't do that. Just do the mandatory things and try to get the points. Here, we are trying to get the points. It's too early for us for the lab test because we just set for one class and we have a lab test. So focus on the points that we want to collect. Here, I forget to put the colon here after the name. See, these are the thing that you have to be. For me, I just go through this way. Now I completed already. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to submit it. So I go to my document. I go to this file. This is my file. I'm going to zip it. Compress to zip file. And this file, I will use it to upload it to the drive. So that's it. That's the end. One zip file. So when you go inside the zip file, you have a folder. You have an index file that you created. This is the OUSL logo. You need this one actually. When you page loaded, this will be displayed. And the print screen that you are going to give it to the teacher that this is my evidence for the first page and the second page. Now, this is the first submission, but see, don't just go and submit it. Do the other one also, the table part, and submit it as an initial submit. And come and compare yourself, compare with the test tape. I always do like side-by-side comparison. I go to this side, let's say the test paper, that is that. It's here. I go to the test paper and I take this page. I just recite according to my knowledge. I just bring it here side by side, Colombo, Candy, vertical, space, subject, this and that. Okay, it's fine, looks good. I'm done. So now you want me to do the second part as well. This table structure, or shall I provide you the code for this one, or you want me to show you? This is one of the easiest table, by the way. The reason is there is no row span on this table. Actually, all of them are called span. That's why it's much easier for you. Should we save the task to also in the same file? No. She said, right? Create listen. Create HTML table, purchase.html shows in the figure 1. So the first one is index.html. The instructions are there. It's create a web page called index and save it. So here they want you to create a purchase.html and create this table. But here in this table, I can tell you, no need to tell much about this. I'm going to do only first 3 columns because the other columns are much easier for you. Okay, first 4 rows, not columns actually. So I'm going to do this row, number 1. I'm going to use a different color here. I'm going to do this row 1 and row 2 and row 3 and row 4. The reason is, you can say the reason why I'm going to do this one. The first row, we know that it's, do you know the easiest tricky way to create a table with the col span and row span? Just make sure that in this area, you see none of these rows are occupying multiple rows. See, one whole row starting from ending, starting to ending, one whole row. There's nothing is occupying 2 columns here, two rows. But here, this box is occupying 2 columns here. And this box is occupying also 2 columns. So the first simple thing to draw a table is, first make sure that how many maximum rows, how many maximum columns that you have in this table. So the maximum number of columns in this table is 4. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. Here 2, here 2, here 4, 4, 4, here 2, here 3, here 2. So the maximum is 4. Based on that, you can create the table. So now I'm going to create a new file, what do you call it? Purchase.html. Purchase.html. And again, this mark, the guy who asked, press enter, it's created already. So I'm going to create simply this table. So let's use live preview this time. This is the button. This is the button to launch the live preview. It's here. Let me make it small because it's too big. I'm going to make it. Should we save the task to also in the same folder? Not in the same file, brother. I don't know. Maybe I answered already. You should save it in the same folder, but not in the same file. So it should be a different file. Right. So we'll quickly go table. Okay. So the first, these 2 columns should be a table header, right? Because it's bolded and centered. So I'm going to use, okay. Before that, create a border immediately on the table. So I'm going to use border is equal to 1 because it's much easier to see with the borders. No, I mean, should we need to submit a separate? No. Task 1. Task 1 and task 2, 2 different files. You put everything on the same folder, zip the folder and submit the folder. That's it. 1 submissions, and there will be 2 files for the task 1 and task 2. And eventually you will be needing a 3 print screen, 1 print screen for the page in the top area, and the second in the page of the bottom of the page, same page. Third one for the table. This is what I did it. Okay. So now I created already. Now I'm going to create a table row, and then inside the table, I'm going to create a table header, which is purchase order and blah, 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 some numbers. So it's coming here, fine. Okay. And before that, there is one label called annual purchasing. That is before table. So I'm going to create a label, and then I don't need 4. I'm going to create the annual purchasing, and that's here, but it's not centered. But here it's in the center of the table, and it's not centered. So you have to center almost everything here. For the table, to align the table to the center, you have to say align is equal to center. So table will move directly to the middle of the page. And this label also you have to do the same thing here. They call it align is equal to center. What happened to this table? Label. Okay, also we face the same thing actually here. So I'm going to wrap this table with the div. Control. Put it here, we will see, and then try to align is equal to center. See, sometimes when I use the align for the label, it's not aligning because label is occupying only a small area. If you tell them to align, it cannot center. It's already center. Can we use caption here? I have no idea for them. Okay, let me try. I never use that, by the way. So it's called caption. School seems to be nice. Okay, so still almost like a label, right? Align is equal to center. Hey, this did not work. Even the caption did not work. Can we use a caption like inside of the label, right? I have no idea, brother. See that the thing that I don't know, I cannot say that. I cannot even pretend that I know it already. So this is the easy way. Just do it. Put the div. I mean. Divisions, and under the division put a label and center the division. That's all the story. It's very simple. And one more table header. See, this table header that we put now, purchase order, you know that it's occupying 3 columns, right? I mean, when you take this block, this area. Okay. See this area? Here, one set of column, and here another set of column, and here another set of column. So this block is covering the 3 columns. That's why I say col span. So I'm going to use for this table header, col span 3. So we don't see any difference. We will see as soon as we type the data. So I'm going to create one more table header called OUSL year 2022. And I save it, so it comes on the side. And we will create 2 more. This is table data. It's not a table header. Don't do it wrong, because this is only the first letter is bolded here. The others are normal. So easiest way to achieve this one, create the table data. So I'm going to create one more row, table row. Inside that, I'm going to create a TD and just put XXX. And I'm going to create one more TD, XXX, and then come here. And this box is covering 2 columns. So here you have to use col span is equal to 2. The other side is covering these 2 columns, this set of 2 columns. So the other one also will use col span 2. Now it looks almost the same. This and that is almost the same. We will see when we continue adding the additional rows, it will automatically relay out. So now here, 4 columns, 4 columns, 4 columns. But I want to tell you one more thing here. This is bolded already. So can anyone tell me how can we do this one? Yes, Fatima. Can anyone tell me how to do this one quickly? Yes, that's right. So you can add table header immediately. No need to create a table data and then bold it and center it. Because if you put table data, you have to bold it. And after that, you have to center it. You have to do a lot of work here. So instead of doing all of these things, you can just simply create a TR. Under the TR, you can create TH, XXX, for example, 4. So now you see the structure of the table is almost similar to this. Right? To this one. And then next is TR again. But the next area is the data. And this, all of them is the data. So I'm not going to put the real value of this data. I'm going to YYY. So there are data. And how many lines are there? There are 3 lines. So 3 lines are here. 9 minutes. We'll end it with the 9 minutes, so we will not continue after that. Then again, this area is a table header again, and this is table data. So in one row, one will be header, the other one will be data. This header will include 3 columns. So this col span for this one is 3, and this is normal. So I'm going to create one more table row. Under the table row, it will be table header. And we call it, I don't know what is this, subtotal. Yeah, subtotal. And the next is a TD. So don't confuse yourself. One TR, one block is a table header, the other block is a table data. But the table header, as we discussed before, 1 column, 2 column, and 3 column. This cell is using 3 columns. So I'm going to say that col span is equal to 3. Is equal to 3. Okay. And the other one is a TD, I don't know, maybe amount. So far the table looks good. So the rest of the things you can edit. Here, this one, you can add col span is equal to 2. This has no col span, this has no col span, but this is table header, and this is data and data. But here, another row, col span is equal to 3, and this is table header, and this is a data. Okay. So now let's work on the borders that they say. And also here, I also add this one, by the way, figure 1. So after the table, I'm going to create the same thing, but we did before. I don't know in your case what you want to do, but I did it here. I copy this area and come to under the table and I paste it here. Instead of putting annual here, I call it figure 1. Okay, it's here. Now the figure 1 is a different color, right? So everyone knows that how to change the color. So I'm going to change the label, style, color is equal to blue. Just put the blue first. So it's dark blue. I don't need the dark blue. So I just click the color here and then choose this light blue. And again, I'm going to, it's too thin and here it seems to be thick. So I'm going to bold it. I'm going to bold this area. B, and I cut the B here, the ending of the B, and come here and paste it here. Oh, nice. Figure 1. And if you want the table to be a little wider in a page, it seems to be very small, go and increase the size of the table. Go to the size table here and put width is equal, for example, 200 pixel. It's not enough. 400 pixel. Okay, 400 pixel. You just adjust based on your looks. You like this 200 or 400, you just do that. It's up to you. Now the final part that we have to do, the border. The border has to have a different color. So in the table itself, I can just go in the style area. I can say style is equal to border solid 1 pixel blue. So the border is there also, the blue borders. But in my case, I did something else also that is up to you too. I feel that this blue border is a bit thicker than this. This is too light. This is thick. One more thing that we forget to do that, right? This vendor part. This vendor part has a 4 line. And this is bolded, the other are lights. So in this area, XXX area. So I'm going to come here, where is this area? So in this area, let's create something. This is vendor column, and then just break it and then bring it here. It's easy to understand. After the vendor, I'm going to say VR. Okay. After the vendor, I'm going to say break line. I want to move it to the next area. And then mega max. And then BR. And then park street. BR. Building 1, 2, 3. BR. Colombo 0, 3. And I'm just going to realign the code, just realigning and saving it. So we get everything here, but only one thing that we have to focus, the vendor has to be bolded. So in the vendor area, I'm going to put the B tag there and cut the closing tag of the B tag, come this side and paste it here. It's done. So the vendor is bolded. The other things are as usual. The same thing, you can do it on the other side as well. So either if you want to copy this one and paste it here and change the text, shift to, for example. Shift to. So you change it according to your need. So one more thing that I'm going to do, the final thing, I told you, if you like it, follow it. If you don't like it, don't follow that. So what I did in my code, I did not use 1 pixel, I used 2 pixel. So it's little thicker, but now see here, both lines are same thickness. So how to color this area? Can anyone give me an idea, please? Yeah. Can anyone give an idea how to color this area? In case if you increase it to 2 pixels, if you want it to be a little thicker than the usual border, you have to do something else. I mean, you have to go and change every single cell. The border is equal to 2 pixels. So if you want to do that, again, you need the style here, but I apply it also. I call it style. And which area we have to change all the TH and TD area. TH and TD area. I want to change to border solid 2 pixel blue. So, and then here we have to see also table TR. Okay, now I forget that it's under the, no need to put the table. TR. I don't, okay, fine, right here. This is what I did. I said all the TR with the TH with the TD, I have to apply this. So in that case now, I don't need this anymore. And this styling, I don't need it here. So it's fine. Yeah. You need that up, by the way, because of the table border. If you remove that, the outline border is gone. So see, the outline border has become black and one thin line. So I just kept it here also and there too. So all areas are covered. This is what I feel 2 pixels is good enough. I did it. Anyhow, so now take a print screen. Don't take a print screen from the live preview. I strongly recommend you to go to the browser and then create your file and make a print screen. I want to make a print screen as well. 1 minute more. Save it. Okay, whatever it is, save it there. After that, go and zip your file. Upload it to the class format. Upload it to your LMS. I hope that it will work fine. This is my index that I created. I show you already, right? Just open in a default browser. This is my table. So this is my code for the table. I did the same conditions here, the style. Yeah, thank you so much, bro. And then this is the index. I'm going to see it in the browser. This is the index. In case if you want the code, I don't think so. You need the code, right? If you want the code, I will place it in the group. I hope 1 minute remaining. So that will be the end. I hope it will help you for your exam. Good luck. What else?